Much for talking to us. In the context of this visit really is the Prime Minister's maiden trip to the Silicon Valley and holds a lot of expectations for people in this space and stakeholders like yourselves. I want to first begin talking to you about this whole digital divide that exists in India and the whole Digital India initiative. He wants to use this as a tool to bridge the digital divide. What do you think? I'm not going to ask you what is the scope, but as someone who's been there and done that and knows how things work, what do you think are the things that India needs to be wary of as they go into this whole Digital India initiative?
I think fundamentally I sort of start from a perspective that technology is an important tool. Ultimately, it's about good governance, it's about the human capital and ingenuity of the people of India that's going to drive progress. So if you start with that perspective, you bring up one of the key issues, which is how do we make sure that the technology is democratized or there's access to technology that is uniform. The one project that I'm very excited about is work that we are doing to bring broadband internet connectivity to even the remotest parts of India. Because without access, which is affordable, not much can happen. So we're using, in fact, the TV white space, which is the spectrum between TV channels, working with local partners, in this case even the government.
That's right.
And we plan to sort of take it actually to 500,000 villages ultimately, but we started in a couple of villages in Srikakulam district of Andhra Pradesh, where you now have essentially broadband connectivity to schools.
That's
and
right.
Once you bring broadband connectivity to a place like a school, you can have PCs, that they have Skype, people can start communicating, collaborating. That's how you can start conquering some of the issues of digital divide. And so I think when you think about Digital India, it's an initiative that will bring about ultimately even the solutions that solve the challenge of digital divide.
Fair point indeed, but you know, I will fail in my duty if I don't talk to you about something that you're really throwing your weight behind, and that's of course local data centers that Microsoft is launching for the cloud services. That's something that you're very passionate about. How do you think the government and Microsoft are best placed to leverage something like this to bridge that digital gap? I mean, this is people say this is a turning point as far as Microsoft itself is concerned.
That's a great question, because I think what's happening with us is we're bringing world-class digital technology in the form of the cloud infrastructure and operating in India. In fact, it's actually a nice combination of, I think, the two programs the Prime Minister has, which is Make in India and Digital India,
right,
because we're essentially building our factories. In this case, they happen to be data centers that are going to operate in India, running this cloud at scale, and even giving capabilities for you to be able to reason over data. And so, for example, one of the programs, again out of Andhra, is they're taking all the data out of student enrollments from schools and using it and running machine learning predictive algorithms to understand who is going to drop out. Now, that ability